You ever notice how fantasy anime used to be like, here's a random dude, he has zero personality, also somehow he has infinite power. But lately, the girls said, move. And now we've got saints, alchemists, revolutionaries, literal psychic railguns, and yes, a girl blessed by the gorilla god. I'm not joking. Today we're counting down fantasy anime where the female leads absolutely carry the genre. No isekai only list, just pure fantasy dominance. Let's start with number 10. Here are 10 female-led anime that prove girls run the fantasy genre.
さよなら。私の平穏な学園生活。
Number 10. The Gorilla God's Go-To Girl. Fantasy, romance, noble comedy. First of all, this title sounds fake, like I made it up at 3 a.m. But no, the Gorilla God's go-to girl is real. The story follows a noble girl who receives blessings from a literal deity, the Gorilla God. And what does that blessing give her? Insane physical strength. Not, oh, she's kinda strong. No, she can casually overpower grown knights. The twist? She's this refined, noble lady who doesn't even want to stand out. But because of her overwhelming strength, she ends up joining the Royal Knights, where everyone both respects her and low-key fears her. What makes this fun isn't just the power, it's the contrast. Elegant noble girl, gorilla-level strength. And the show leans into that comedy while still treating her seriously as a character. It's fantasy, it's absurd, and it's one of those series where the female lead isn't just strong for a girl, she's just strong. Period. Number 9. Management of a Novice Alchemist. Fantasy, slice of life, cozy adventure. Now we shift from gorilla strength to wholesome capitalism. Management of a Novice Alchemist follows Sarasa, a young girl who graduates from alchemy school and decides to open her own shop in a remote village. And when I say management, I mean actual management. Budgeting, gathering materials, running a business. This isn't I'm the strongest mage in the world, it's I need to keep this shop from going bankrupt. The fantasy here feels grounded. There are monsters, magical ingredients, and danger, but the focus is her growth as an independent business owner. And that's what makes it refreshing. Sarasa isn't loud, she isn't edgy, she's practical. And watching her slowly build her life from scratch feels way more satisfying than watching another overpowered protagonist sneeze and defeat a demon king.
まあでも冒険者も結構頑張ってるのよね。
Number 8. I may be a guild receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time. Fantasy, action, workplace comedy. This one, work-life balance anime. The main girl works as a guild receptionist. You know, the NPC behind the counter that gives quests. But here's the problem. Adventurers keep failing boss fights, which means paperwork, which means overtime. And she hates overtime. So what does she do? She secretly puts on a disguise and solos the dungeon bosses herself just so she can clock out on time. This anime is hilarious because her motivation isn't glory. It's not revenge. It's not destiny. It's, I want to go home. And honestly, that's relatable. But underneath the comedy, she's genuinely powerful. Not randomly overpowered, but skilled, efficient, and fed up. Fantasy plus workplace frustration? Iconic combination.
次はどうなるんでしたっけ?
Number 7. Tearmoon Empire. Fantasy, political, comedy. Now this one's different. Tearmoon Empire follows Princess Mia. And no, she's not a heroic saint. She's selfish, she's spoiled, and in the original timeline, she gets executed. But right before dying, she gets sent back to her younger self with all her memories intact. Now here's the genius part. Mia isn't trying to save the Empire because she's noble, she's trying to avoid getting executed again. Every kind action she takes is self-preservation, but everyone around her misunderstands her actions as genius-level strategy and saint-like compassion. And the show plays this misunderstanding for comedy. It's fantasy politics mixed with irony, and Mia might be one of the funniest female leads in fantasy because she's not morally perfect. She's just trying not to lose her head. Literally. Number 6. The Two Perfect Saint. Fantasy, romance, drama. You know that trope where the saint is kind, gentle, pure, beloved by everyone? Yeah. Now imagine being so perfect that people start hating you for it. In The Two Perfect Saint, the main girl is an incredibly capable holy maiden. She performs miracles flawlessly. She behaves properly, she never causes trouble. And because of that, people think she's cold, unapproachable, not cute enough. So her fiancé annuls her engagement and she gets sent away to another country. Classic fantasy injustice. But instead of collapsing, she ends up in a place that actually appreciates her abilities. And suddenly, all that too perfect energy becomes exactly what a struggling kingdom needs. This isn't loud power fantasy. It's quiet competence. And watching her finally get valued instead of punished for excellence, that's satisfying in a very specific way.
でも
Number 5. Elfen Lied. Psychological, dark fantasy, horror. Okay, tone shift, hard. Elfen Lied is dark fantasy sci-fi horror, and it does not hold back. The story centers around Lucy, a Diclonius, a mutated human with invisible telekinetic arms called vectors. She escapes from a brutal research facility, and what follows is trauma, violence, isolation, identity breakdown. Lucy isn't a girl boss. She's a tragic character shaped by abuse and rejection. The series explores what happens when someone is treated like a monster for their entire life. And yes, it's graphic, extremely graphic. But at its core, Elfen Lied is about loneliness and how cruelty creates more cruelty. Lucy isn't here to inspire you, she's here to emotionally damage you. And that's why she's unforgettable.
まあ私は集められなかったらそれはそれでいいよ
Number 4. Bofuri. I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense. Fantasy, comedy, VR adventure. Now we cleanse the trauma with Maple. In Bofuri, Maple starts playing a VR MMO and decides, I don't want to feel pain. So she puts all of her stat points into defense. No meta strategy, no guides, just vibes. And somehow she becomes the most broken player in the game. But here's what makes Bofuri fun. Maple isn't competitive, she's not trying to dominate. She's just exploring the game and accidentally discovering absurd abilities because she experiments with everything. Eat a monster? New skill. Stand still? Broken passive ability. Get attacked? Somehow even stronger. The fantasy here isn't serious. It's chaos. And Maple's pure, wholesome energy makes her one of the most lovable female leads in fantasy gaming anime.
初夏でも世間の風が冷たいんですの
Number 3. A certain scientific railgun. Action, superpower, sci-fi fantasy. Now we're stepping into Academy City. A certain scientific railgun follows Mikato Misaka, one of the strongest espers in the city, known as the Railgun because she can fire metal objects at insane speeds using electromagnetism. And unlike some side character spin-offs, Railgun actually elevates its female cast. Mikato isn't just powerful, she's impulsive, competitive, stubborn, but deeply compassionate. And the series balances slice-of-life moments with heavy arcs, especially when it dives into the darker experiments happening in Academy City. The Sisters arc? Devastating. Railgun proves something important. You can have explosive action and still build emotional weight around your female lead. Mikato carries fights, friendships, and emotional breakdowns without ever feeling sidelined. She's not a support character. She is the main event.
綺麗な
Number 2. My Happy Marriage. Fantasy, romance, supernatural, drama. If you walked into My Happy Marriage expecting fluffy romance, you were not ready. Set in a Taisho era-inspired fantasy world where certain families possess supernatural abilities, the story follows Mio, a girl born into a prestigious clan but treated like a servant by her own family. Why? Because she seemingly has no powers. She's emotionally abused, neglected, and constantly compared to her gifted half-sister. Then she's arranged to marry Kyoka Kudo, a cold, rumored to be cruel military commander. And you expect the usual mean husband trope. But instead, you get healing. Slow, careful healing. Mio's growth isn't explosive. It's quiet. It's painful. It's learning that she deserves kindness. And as her hidden spiritual abilities begin to awaken, the fantasy elements slowly rise alongside her confidence. This isn't about dominating the battlefield. It's about reclaiming your self-worth. And that makes her strength hit harder than most action protagonists.
ありがとうの一言すら言えなかった。
Number 1. Secrets of the Silent Witch. Fantasy, magic, school mystery. Now this is peak don't judge by appearances. Secrets of the Silent Witch follows Monica, known as the Silent Witch, one of the strongest mages in the kingdom. She's a genius who mastered chantless magic, which is insanely difficult. So naturally, you'd expect some composed, confident archmage. Nope, she's painfully shy. Social anxiety level catastrophic. The only reason she learned chatless magic in the first place? Because she was too anxious to speak spells out loud in front of people. That detail alone is genius. She gets assigned a secret mission to infiltrate a prestigious academy and protect the second prince, while hiding her identity. So now you have one of the strongest mages alive who can barely talk to people, trying to act normal in high society. The fantasy plot mixes political intrigue, magic systems, and hidden threats, but the real charm is Monica herself. She's powerful, yes, but she's also awkward, overthinking every interaction, and constantly panicking internally. And that contrast makes her feel real. She's not loud about her strength, she doesn't flex it, she just handles things quietly and disappears back into the background. That's elite main character energy. Final thoughts. Fantasy anime used to revolve around the chosen guy. But look at this list. We've got a noble girl blessed by a gorilla god, a business-minded alchemist, a receptionist who solos bosses for work-life balance, a princess rewriting history out of pure survival instinct, a saint punished for being too competent, a tragic psychic experiment, a chaos-loving tank, a literal railgun, a traumatized bride finding her strength, and an anxious genius witch hiding in plain sight. Different personalities, different tones, different kinds of power. And that's the point. Female leads in fantasy aren't just copying male power fantasies anymore. They're bringing emotional depth, comedy, political strategy, business management, psychological horror, and yes, sometimes absolute battlefield dominance. Girls aren't just part of the fantasy genre, they're running it. And honestly, we need more of this. Subscribe if you want more anime content like this, and I'll see you in the next one.